I really hope you've enjoyed what we've discussed so far, and I can't wait and look forward to you, watching the rest that we have to offer, or the rest of the conversation rather. And yeah, enjoy, man. And if you have any suggestions or any contributions that you want to give us, you know the number. It's there on the screen. Catch us on all socials. Send us an audio note or a video. A video would even be better. Just encouraging us and giving us feedback on the topics that we've discussed so far. And yeah, enjoy from me, myself, Slim, and the rest of the team.
Long as I'm alive, I'ma make a plan. The motherland, the African man. Long as I'm alive, I'ma make a plan. Strongholds to break, got long walks to take, got no votes to make. We don't bet, we pray. Hey, African man, yeah. African man, yeah.
Well said.
I think this is probably one of the most honest conversations we've had on this show.
On this show, eh?
This is gonna be good. This is gonna be
That's going to get me in trouble.
Sure. So yeah.
It absolutely is, bro.
I think
I can think of 6 people that would right now. Right now.
So let's just scheme through this. I think this actually also results to possible divorce reasons. You know, things that you're supposed to have discussed before marriage, right?
Right.
I mean, there's religion there, right? Religion is a serious thing.
That's a big one.
Your
bro.
beliefs, yeah. You know how to deal, how you both deal with family.
What do you mean when you say religion?
Like,
What you believe about God or what religion you belong to?
Both.
I think
What?
both,
What?
yeah.
I think. I mean, it's
Religion and spirituality.
Yeah.
Is how you.
Because I mean, I grew up. I was married to a woman who shared the very same beliefs.
As you.
We were raised. We were saved.
Yeah.
We received Christ at the same time.
Yeah.
We were baptized on the same day. We literally grew up together spiritually.
Yeah.
We were of the same biblical convictions, but she believed in tithing and I didn't.
Okay.
Okay.
And we didn't
Already
know
that
we
line.
didn't know that until we were married. And
And that's
she
already a
started to
financial constraint on the relationship.
yeah,
But
not
it
only
also-
that,
it's-
but she
it-
felt like
it goes beyond the financial because it becomes a bigger thing because
trying to-
it's
I'm trying to
you
remember
are
the
causing us because for someone who believes in
Who
tithing,
tithes.
they'll believe that if you do not,
Tithe.
you
Things
are
are not
allowing
going well for
curses,
us.
Yes,
things will
because
go
you're
well
not
for
tithing.
us
Would the
because-
word doctrines then come into play?
yes.
I
Like,
mean,
So,
belief system in
doctrine,
general.
yeah.
so
Yeah,
you have
your
to,
belief system.
but you have to really dig in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can't just be
Deeper
like,
than just
oh,
surface
so
level.
you know, are
Christian?
you Christian?
Yeah,
Ah,
like,
cool.
yes, me too.
Because that's what
Yes.
most people do.
Yes.
You know, they
Yeah.
brand it. I'm Muslim. I'm Christian. So it's not going to work. I'm Christian. Oh, great. You know.
Yeah.
But
What do you believe?
But what does that mean?
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So she believed.
Actually, whilst you're talking, earlier on you mentioned the example, that prayer that you guys had the conversation with the Muslims, right? So why is it that even Muslims that have grown up in maybe varied backgrounds can still agree on the idea of what marriage is? But as Christians, there seems to be so much disparity where your circumstances or your upbringing play such a big role. I don't know if what I'm saying.
No, it's because Christianity for
think
us
it's the
is
diversity
is
of
The
elective.
doctrines are different.
of Christianity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also it's elective. Like Christianity is elective for us. It's not like embedded into your upbringing, right? It's not like part of society.
Yeah.
It's an option you pick. You know, when you go to uni or whatever, or you know your parents pick for you, but it's not ingrained. Like I actually think that Africans have a huge identity crisis. Like it's not only to do with money or whatever. Like we actually do not know who we are.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because you can ask prayer now what his ancestors mean to him, and already like there's like
like
a discomfort
yeah.
around it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but you ask someone else, you know, they'll tell you exactly who their ancestors are
Yeah.
and what they achieved and what, you know, what they mean within, you know, so there's sort of like a passing down of culture and heritage and whatever. But we reject our heritage.
Or we're made to believe that it's, you know, evil.
Evil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's associated with witchcraft and bad spirits
Darkness,
and
yeah,
what.
yeah, yeah.
There's
I
a
would
darkness
actually love
to it.
to have a whole conversation around that because it's
Ancestors.
it's part of I would say the latest self-introspection that I've had to do. You know, which is why every time we have a conversation, I keep bringing up the fact that we've lost our culture, we've lost our
Yeah.
heritage. We've lost this
No, I
because-
think we definitely
because
need to
yeah,
do
I
something
have
about that
I have this I would actually love to share my story
Yeah.
and get a lot of criticism from everyone, a lot of people that I've grown up with.
Let's put that. We'll put that as
Yeah.
definitely a different topic.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
Abraham
but
and Isaac
I
and whatever, those are
Definitely
ancestors,
agree with
aren't
you.
they?
Yeah, they are.
So
They are.
So you've got, you know, how you deal with family, both of you.
yeah,
You know, sometimes it can be the issue of, you know, we were always at your family's house, or, you know,
Yeah.
that closeness the other party doesn't have, like just how you described with your wife, that
Yes.
that's different upbringings.
yes,
Then it's only something you then find in marriage that, no, this is how I relate, or
Yeah.
versus how she relates.
yeah.
Okay.
You know,
And I mean,
sometimes,
also
yeah.
the fact that she came from a nuclear family, it was just the 5 of them.
Yeah.
And, you know, they were enough. And they had like this sort of Western sort of way of doing it,
Yeah.
where you can't just show up
Okay.
at someone's house.
Or you have to book an appointment.
And each of them have their own room,
Okay.
the kids,
Okay.
right? And I grew up in a place where everything
you
is
share
everybody's.
everything, yeah, you
like,
share everything.
it's not
I
your
agree.
sweater, it's a sweater.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So whoever gets to the sweater first, that's their
That's
sweater
their
on that
sweater.
day.
Yeah.
Right? As long as you don't damage it and whatever, no one takes offense if I take your shoes and I go on a date, you know, because you can take mine and do the same, right? So, you know, and my aunt can come and stay as long as she needs and leave whenever she leaves, you know, and she would be like, yo, whoa,
What's going on?
why do your people not phone, bro?
Yeah.
And
Let
so
us know,
when are
yeah.
they leaving?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Are
yeah.
they going to contribute
yeah.
financially? You know, like what's the story?
And you're
here?
like,
and I'm like, are
Yeah,
you,
you know,
are you out of your mind? Why would you?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, and it's deeply personal.
oh yeah.
Because
yeah.
it's like you are rejecting me
Yeah.
if you reject my brother.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
it wounds you. It's not
yeah.
just inconvenient.
Yeah.
It is painful.
Oh yeah.
And you feel like if he's your enemy, I'm your enemy.
enemy,
You know?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can't accept me and reject my little finger. You get it?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, how do you guys feel about before marriage discussing sexual expectations? So you could be someone that is into foreplay. You like,
No, I think that's very important.
Yeah.
bro. Like even like during your during dating,
Yeah.
it's like it's something that I've learned to discuss
yeah,
beforehand, even before you.
How does
like,
that conversation
get
go?
into? So when
Yeah.
when I'm like courting someone and we're having talks and all of that, I bring these conversations up.
yeah.
So
that-
talking stages.
Yeah, during the talking stages,
Yeah.
you talk about these things, and then obviously that also builds anticipation for
Slim with the plan.
So tell me something. So if she says, I'm into like BDSM, I like to be beaten, and what. And
If I'm not into it, then that's
Yeah,
it.
red flag.
then you walk away.
Already, that's it.
It's not negotiable.
No matter how, dude.
It just depends.
If we're going to be having sex and I don't beat her, right?
She's not
She's
gonna
going
be
to go to the
satisfied.
dude that beats her
yeah.
when she's having sex whilst we're still together. You get where I'm coming from? So it's like one
You're
of
not
those.
satisfying her
Yes,
needs,
it's,
but-
it's like one of those when.
Yeah, but you
When
could
you
also
discuss-
you could also just beat her, bro.
I'm not gonna beat a woman,
mean-
dude. I'm not gonna do
No,
that.
you're
It's
not
not
like maybe
beating
she.
her, it's not-
Maybe she doesn't want to
not-
be. Maybe she doesn't want to be
not
punched in the face,
abusive.
but maybe she
No.
just wants like a little,
Spank.
firm smack, bro.
No.
It's the whole tying
I've got
up.
other ways.
Anyway,
I've got
you-
other
you-
ways.
I think let's
why,
move on.
why do
Take it to the
African
next
men? Why do African men find that offensive?
No, it's not
What?
offensive.
Find
Find what
offensive?
offensive?
It's
Like
not
things like
offensive at all.
BDSM.
No,
I don't find
it's
it
not
offensive.
offensive at all.
But you're not typical
offensive.
African men.
But I'll choke. I'm gonna choke. I'm gonna bite.
Are you serious, my guy?
But
Tino's like, you can
Tino's
do that.
like, what?
Yo.
People are choking
No,
each other.
Yeah, now I'm a bit
I'm
old
just saying.
school on that one.
no, I'm just saying.
I
I'm just
understand
saying.
the
You know what? There's like stuff that I can do.
Yes,
So,
you've
so
got
essentially-
limits there.
Essentially, I'm
Yeah.
just saying there are things that I'll do sexually and the things that I won't. It's like saying, you have a discussion about your potential next girlfriend.
Yeah.
About how you like it in the bed, and then she says, well, when we're doing it when you're on top or whatever, at some point in time, I'd like to. Do you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And then,
Nah,
But you can
Exa-
simply say, no, I wouldn't like that, and then it goes away.
not
But
necessarily.
now, does it really go away? It's something that's probably
necessarily.
going to be
But
raised
that, you know
a
what,
year
that's-
later, 2
that
years.
is then based on
maturity
how,
issue now.
Yeah.
that's based on how comfortable you are with being honest about the things you need
Yes.
and the things that are not negotiable, which is why in those kind of conversations you want to be able to be as honest as possible, but still be as honest as possible.
And
Yeah.
open-minded
say,
as well.
you know, and then say, well, you know what, I like having a lot of sex, so I would probably need like maybe 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And when
That's
I
the kind of
when, and when I
conversation-
say
that's the kind of
4 times a
conversation
week,
I
what I
have.
mean by one of those 4 is 3 times
Within
or
that
whatever,
one
you
day.
know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and then when you say that, then if she thinks that's a lot,
It's a
then
bit
you
too
say,
much, yeah.
then this might be a
It
problem
might not work.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I really need it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you already walk in knowing.
Knowing.
If she is trying to sort of say, I think I can, you know, then you both know that this could be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And when it does become a problem, it's not a surprise. You're going to be like, you know what, we spoke
Yeah.
about this and I feel like you're really trying to make, satisfy me, but I'm not satisfied.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all the time maintaining an open mind, knowing that people's needs
Change.
change with
Yeah.
time and with circumstances as well. You know, when I am broke and stressed, that's when I want sex the most.
Which is opposite for some.
Yeah. So most people lose interest.
Yeah.
I become like horny as a goat. And I think psychologically it has to do with the need to win at something. To
conquer.
To conquer
okay,
something.
Because it
Because
means
I'm
you
not
want to
winning
conquer something.
elsewhere.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
come here.
Yeah.
And it's also the need for, it's like, it's a stress reliever.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like exercise.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you are actually frustrated
When
and
that
you
dopamine
it's
kicks
the best
in.
time to exercise.
There you go.
You're going to stick to your form. You're going to feel the pain.
Yeah.
You want to do extra reps. And then you're
Yeah.
going to be like, let me add cardio. And then that's exactly.
Yeah.
And I relate with that with the sex because it's like you want to feel like at least. You want to feel
I'm
like
winning at something.
I'm a
yeah,
god.
Yeah,
I'm a
there's that.
god.
Yeah.
You know, when
Yeah.
I'm doing well, I'm busy. And my mind is like all over the place. I'm thinking maybe now I can launch Lusaka.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you're trying to feel up on me. I'm like, yeah.
Like, give me
Wait.
space.
I need to
I
work
I
on
need
this
to
one
finish
thing.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
never have
Yeah.
the weight. I never have the weight.
And I just stop.
I never
Oh,
have
you
the,
just
I,
stop
ne- I
watching.
never
When the
have
opportunity
the weight.
presents itself,
I
yeah.
cannot. I'm just like, right, this is going well. This is about to go well.
Okay.
So
With
there's
me is the break from the going well. Then
Yes.
I
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
thinking.
so there's also financial expectations.
Right.
Right.
I think that one's a big one because you also need to, just like with the psychology of knowing about marriage, you need to understand someone's psychology. Well, their psychology with money,
With
like their
money,
relationship
yeah.
with money.
money,
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's also
It's
like a really
important.
big thing, and it's not a very open subject that people talk about a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people
It's very
don't.
touchy, so people kind of
Are cagey about it.
are cagey about it, and then when it starts being a problem,
Yeah.
then it translates to you're not taking care of me, you don't love me, you don't do enough for me, and whatever. And
I've got a
yet-
question.
Yeah.
Before you actually decide to settle down with someone, do you actually disclose your financial status? Do you disclose how
Your earnings.
How? Yes.
it's based
How
on
you
how
make
com-
money, where you make money, etc.
I think it's based on how comfortable you are with the partner.
No, well, I mean,
And
if
what
you are
stage.
if
I
you
mean,
are
if
now
you're like
at marriage
saying
stage,
you're now
If
getting
you're serious,
married,
then-
yeah.
of course, you
bro.
have
I think you have to.
Full disclosure.
Yeah.
Like I actually think that particularly things with like huge potential consequences, like if you're in debt, it becomes their debt.
Their debt,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean if
They
you're in
inherit
community
it,
of
yeah.
property,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But even if you're not in community of property, from an experience of marriage perspective, your indebtedness might become an inconvenience and a painful experience for your partner. Whether it legally impacts them or not, it can impact them socially, emotionally as well. So it's important to actually say, hey, I owe the bank $40,000.
So we can't go on vacation.
Exactly.
for the next 5
And then
years.
she
whatever,
lives
yeah.
on whenever I travel is when I feel the happiest.
Oh, okay. So
Now
also to
it's-
build
it's
onto
her
that.
problem, yeah.
So to build onto that, it also means that you need to disclose potential black tax. Or
Yeah,
cu-
absolutely.
Or
Yeah.
current
Well,
black
yes,
tax.
Absolutely.
Everything,
I send money to my mother, and that's a non-negotiable.
That's not going to change.
Yeah. So that there's no point at which she feels like, cool, what happened to the money, bro?
Yeah. That's actually on like my wife and I. That's actually on our budget. When
There
we
you
do
go.
our monthly budget. We've got that family responsibility thing. And we're sending money to my side of the family. We send money to her side of the family.
Yeah.
So it's asked to be part of the budget. It's a non-negotiable for both sides. So what I just did is when we went in, that was something I was doing. Then I told her, no, we're gonna do the same thing.
Right.
Your side, you know what I mean? But her parents are both late, so we send money to her
Siblings.
to her Mainini.
Oh, all right, all right.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Her mom's
Also,
sister.
one last thing on that one. Do you actually budget with your partner?
Do you feel like you're ready
Or-
for marriage? So?
Why?
No,
you
he's
ask
yeah,
him,
no,
he's
it's
so
strategic, bro.
passionate.
He's
It's not for me, bro.
He's about to go
it's
in.
for the audience.
It's for everybody. It's for the thousands.
That's why I'm going in. That's why I'm going in on each of these line items because I'm like, we
I
can't
get
just
it,
skim
I
through
get it.
them.
But-
We
but
have
yeah.
to like
when you
let
do,
the audience
when you
know.
think of, when you're ready, let me know because
But it
I want to sing.
oh, you want to sing at the
course.
wedding?
Ah, no.
And I'm the DJ, and no non-negotiable.
And I'm the MC.
And he's the MC.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to be the one that, the one that reads the.
No, I'm the MC.
I mean, after all, you do have some kind of.
Pastoral thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm retired, bro. I'm
Kind
retired.
of pastor you want.
Yeah, man.
I'm retired.
real
I'll be your
one.
marriage counselor.
Okay, all right.
You had a question, sir.
Yeah. The budgeting. For
No, it was
me-
the budgeting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
For
the
me, I
budgeting.
think it just makes it a whole lot simpler. Man. You have
Just put everything there.
Yeah, you put it on the table. Say these are our earnings on a month to month.
Yeah.
What are we focusing our money towards? If you, for us, we break it down in terms of what are we putting to investments, what are we putting to.
Tino's very meticulous, like you've seen in our meetings.
Yeah,
So this
yeah.
sounds like he
Yeah.
really knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah. I can tell. Man.
Yep.
Yeah, so
I can tell.
we divide stuff, and
I think that really helps.
It helps, because
what it
the
does is you just
transparency, yeah.
have less conversations about
About all of those
You
things.
just pick a time in the month where you're just gonna have
The
this
budgets.
goes there, that goes there, that goes there. Okay, we can afford this now. Maybe we can do this later. Blah 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 blah.
Although women,
Also,
women
one last-
sometimes, women sometimes can have that. You've gone through the budget. Days later, she'll be like, you know what I was thinking?
Is
Why
it
don't
flexible?
Yeah, can we open that budget again? I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because but for me, I just like to
When you want
do something
do something,
once.
you want to
Right.
finish
Just
it.
like
Yeah.
what's
Sealed.
I'm
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
very flexible. I'm always the proactive one. So I'll say, I think maybe we should try and change this and then do this.
My wife is like that. Man. Yeah.
And then when we do that, and then I feel like it doesn't work. I'm like,
maybe
what do you think? Maybe we should change it. I'm like, yeah, we can change it. Like I'm very.
Ah,
Like,
okay.
don't
I think
get
as long
too-
as it's collaborative.
Yeah, I don't get too caught up in.
So
Yeah.
one
Approach.
last one though.
You said that like 3 times.
No, it's the last one.
I'm playing.
Trust me
I'm
on this
playing, bro. I'm playing.
So do you then say, because I've heard this from other people, whereby they say certain responsibilities fall upon the man and then certain responsibilities fall upon the women, or is it just a matter of you bring in all of your money, I bring in all of my money, we put it here, and then we budget together? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
In some instances, it's more of no, the rent and the bigger things. Those are your responsibility. We're going to use your money for it, and then the smaller thing or anything that we need for the kids, it's your money that's going to take care of those things. So,
Okay,
how
so
do you
I mean, I
usually
can
go
start
about
by saying, I think there's no one fixed formula for that. I feel like it's always going to be dependent on the culture that the two of you decide when it comes to money.
I
And
guess which is
also-
why you need to have
and
that
also
conversation
incomes,
before.
incomes change, especially if you've got someone who's in business or someone who inherits something, or if it's some big, I don't know, big prize money or whatever, like a big amount that comes or whatever. And I've noticed that there are some men who feel it's important for them to always pay for certain things. Like I had a friend of mine, or a former friend, we broke up. He actually did not allow his wife to buy herself. He never allowed his wife to buy groceries.
Okay.
And there was a time that he didn't have money, and she had money,
Yeah.
and then she bought groceries for the house.
Did he get livid?
And he got livid, and he actually paid her back.
Wow.
Okay.
And but you see, I could understand his angle, because he was trying to say, this
I'm
is my
the
statement
provider.
My
of-
responsibility.
I want to provide for you. I want to take care of you.
But she's going.
But to
But then to
her-
her, it was more like, so are you saying I can't?
can't
Yes.
I can't
help
So
out.
she actually had an issue with that, because she was like, I feel like he's almost detaching from me
Because he doesn't have
because
money.
he wants to run the show, so that he can dictate on what
What-
goes,
what
doesn't,
happens.
whatever.
And it's an
And
ego
like-
trip.
Oh
yeah,
yes.
and she felt
Oh
like
yes.
it wasn't a bond thing. Like she felt like we're not
Yeah.
connected. So it was a connection thing for
Oh
her.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You know? And that's why I think that it's always important for people to just sort of find their own rhythm about what it is that is important to them. Because, like I said, people have different relationships with money.
No, I think his question was more: do you dissolve your incomes into one common pot and then reallocate
dish
from
out,
there?
yes, yes,
That's exactly
yes.
what I'm saying.
Or-
my question is, it's a money culture. You decide. You can decide, because sometimes it's important to me to keep my money and not, because I want to be able to surprise you without you knowing that I've got extra or whatever, or this came from that. Like I might want to say, I'll pay for these, and then not necessarily put all of the money in the one pot, and then we all know that this is how much we have. And so now I can't surprise you with the holiday. Because if I'm going to touch this, then I have to
And then
be accountable to you and still say, I was thinking, or then spend it and then say, you see, this surprise that I paid for, I actually took the money that we put in the thing.
Yeah.
So it still comes back to what kind of money culture are you going to set as what we're going to do together? Because it could be we just put all of the money together and all our money is our money. Or it can be people who still say, my money pays for this and your money pays for that.
Yeah, you've
And
touched,
it's all, it's really just a culture thing.
you've touched a
That's-
lot of aspects
That's the two people
I
will
actually disagree. I
You disagree with us.
I disagree with how fluid you're making it, because my understanding of marriage is the two shall become one, right? And when the two become one, remember marriage, if you are like me, is a reflection of the relationship between Christ and the church, right? And that is a relationship of openness, that's a relationship of transparency, of literal oneness, one in the other. There's no separation between the two. There's no prayer and Nadine. It is Pradine, right?
Right.
So you can't say we are one in every aspect. We're one spiritually, we're one emotionally, but we're not one necessarily financially. You get it? So I feel like money, because of how emotive it is, tends to be treated separately from the other parts of life, but it's not correct to do that. You know, because I feel like there's a self-preservation thing there in separating finances that has to do with losing control. We're not quite willing to relinquish control of our hard-earned money because I think there's 1,000 things that could be happening there. A trust issue. What if they abuse it? What if, like...
No, I mean, Skid, I get that, which is why I said it always depends on the actual couple and what they choose their money culture to be. Because I know of a very successful couple. They know what their net worth is individually. It means there's a separation if they know that, because they know how to calculate this person's net worth and this other person's net worth, right? But these two people are happily married. They are wealthy, actually. But that's the money culture that they chose. That there is separation of what his businesses make and what her businesses make. They will spend it together, and which is why I'm saying that, because it's also so emotive, you might find that you have a partner who is very controlling because she works so hard and she actually makes so much money, and she wants to have a say in how the money is spent on a regular. I actually know of friends of mine whom the wife is better with money.
I think that's most cases.
Not all cases.
Most.
Yeah, I mean, we could say most, yes. But for me, I mean, I've seen cases where the husband's actually better with money.
I was actually going to, the question I was going to ask, and I'm happy we are at this stage, because I think there's a separation between making your money one versus being transparent about your money.
Right.
Because you can have, like what Prayer is saying, you can have two different sets of finances running in the house, but each being aware of, okay, fine, that's where this person is, right?
So
and at the same time, you can have a common pool, but still the other person doesn't know any extra that you have. Those two realities can exist at the same time.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
So my question was going to be, do you believe in being transparent about money with your spouse? Because if we're having a discussion about being an African male, predominantly, I don't have stats, but I can speak anecdotally, a lot of men that I've spoken to, especially older men that are advising the younger generation, you'll hear, I've actually had a older men telling me that, son, you need to keep a little bit extra on the side for yourself that your wife doesn't know about, all of that stuff. Do you believe in that culture?
I say if you can be secretive about money, you can be secretive with other relationships.
Yeah, but I think that always comes back to intent, because it's not necessarily about. I don't think the level of transparency is going to speak to how faithful you are to your partner, because I mean, that intention that old man was giving you was not necessarily to sort of teach you to have some kind of secrecy. It could be to say, for the rainy days and for the times when you're stuck, you just create an emergency fund, but don't say it, because if you say it, your wife might just come up with some needs.
But you
and
see,
wants
that comes.
will end up tapping into.
That's a trust issue.
No, but that also.
I don't know.
That
And that's
also
exactly
comes.
what that guy said.
But
That's
that's also.
you see, that's what I'm saying. Like certain things that I can't.
He doesn't trust his wife.
It's not about trusting his wife, bro.
No, but you know what? That comes from a generation that never had communicated with their spouses.
It's a control issue.
Bro,
Our fathers.
You know
no.
what if your
Hear
wife
me out.
loves to just spend money, bro?
Then you create
No,
barriers.
you have to set the
ring,
tone.
you ring
Barrier
fence.
to your-
No,
Dude,
no.
In that, we do the budget and we agree.
You can
this money
co-
we're not
co-signatory.
touching it. You know, we're not touching it. This money is for investments, right? We're building this money to buy this at a certain space and time. We've discussed it on the budget, and that's what's going to happen. If there's any change to the budget, number one, you should not then compromise what we're trying to achieve in the long run. If there's excess, yes, we can compromise with, okay, this goes to that, or if there's a change, it has to be a change that is that would warrant you taking money from that investment and placing it somewhere to create another source. Or whatever.
And it's co-signed by me.
Yes, and you have less issues there. Right?
No, I get that, gents. But what I'm saying is, it's just it's way too complicated to actually just place it into those two boxes.
Oh, yeah, and
this
say
is how it
this-
should
thi-
be.
this
Because
is the
sometimes
one-
it's really not, and it's still fine. Like, do you know what? My wife actually told
I
me
guess
that
what- yeah,
her
yeah.
mom used to say, a good wife always has a stash. So does a good wife in her books mean that she could cheat because she's got a stash? Are those trust issues
What is the stash for?
for emergencies?
Okay, that's perfect. Why does the husband not know about the stash?
Because maybe the husband is an entrepreneur and his business always charges money, so he's always going to need money.
Right.
And
So you
he'll-
see,
and
you see,
he'll-
you
he'll
see how
make it
that's a
real.
trust issue.
No, bro, that's the thing. I think that
She
you-
doesn't trust her husband to have the self-control to know that that money
Yes, but
I
that's-
will not touch no
but
matter
that's-
what.
But that's an assumption of why it's a stash. Because I don't know why people stash. I trust what that old man said to Mudiwa, to say, just keep a stash for rainy days, because you never know.
But you can do
Never
that
know
together.
what.
Yeah,
do
you
that-
could do that together, but if you also did it quietly without telling your wife, does that mean that you have trust issues?
Yes.
That I
There's a-
disagree.
There's a reason.
What
to you
what is
not-
the reason for not telling her?
Because it's a rainy day. It's not supposed to be
A rainy
coming
day
into-
for who?
for all of us.
So if we're all involved, why don't we know?
If you died, prayer, no one knows where that stash is. What happens?
Ah, bro, that's why you have will. Guy. That's why you have
No,
will.
I'm just saying in retrospect, like you don't have.
No, I mean we can agree to disagree on it. Because
The
I
quest-
feel like people's methods are not always going to work for everybody.
True.
So if someone says full transparency on all of the money, it has to be here. We both have to always know about every penny that goes through this house, or else we have trust issues. I feel like that's an extreme position. But if you feel like that's the way it's supposed to be, I'm not judgmental of that. So I'm actually not judgmental of my wife saying, "Hey, yo, you know what? I've actually got a stash, so we can use money from there."
Think of me-
I'll be like, "Okay, cool."
Think
I've
of me
never-
and you as a partnership.
Wait. I've never questioned my wife's faithfulness to me based on the fact that she actually then says to me at some point in the month when I've run out of cash, I've actually got 1,000 rand. We can use that.
But she has a stash. She told you she
No,
has a
bro.
stash.
No, not. I didn't know at that point. I didn't know she had 1,000 rand in the stash. I never know when she has the stash or when she doesn't. But I don't have trust issues because of that. That's all I'm saying. Because do you think that my wife could cheat on me because she has a stash? You know my wife. What do you think?
No. Okay, let's not go there.
Let's go there.
guess-
because that's
No,
where we are.
let's talk
I
about the
guess-
money, not
I
not
guess
the
basically-
infidelity.
I get
Anyway,
basically
it's a trust issue. That's what you said. right?
Trust with money. We're talking
Yeah.
about money
no,
here.
No. You said it's a trust issue. If it's a trust issue with money, it's a trust issue with everything.
Not necessarily,
Why
because
not?
you can be irresponsible financially. You can be a great guy on what, but you just have a bad money culture. You
Bro, this
have
is
no
exactly
discipline
why
with
I
money.
said methods can differ, but if the intent is good, like what I said, if the intent is good to stash, the intent is good. You can't.
Yeah,
then
so
say
he
that-
must be able at least to let his wife know that he has a stash, not necessarily how much is in it
Yeah,
or
but
whatever.
bro, if you know your wife knows your buttons and she's going to get into the stash, you're not going to tell her about the stash.
So that's a trust issue, prayer. you don't trust that because if it's about pressing buttons and what, there's a fear there that she will abuse it,
That is true, though.
and that's what you're safeguarding against. What I'm saying is, imagine if you and I are business partners, right? Because marriage is a partnership, and you and I are 50-50 partners in a business that we both founded, and then you discover that I have a stash that you know nothing about. And I say to you,
You don't know how that
it was
stash
for a
was
rainy
made,
day.
where it's come from.
You're like, why would you not want to know why I didn't tell you? Would you?
I mean, the context of that.
Would
is
that not
completely-
raise
the-
issues
the-
with?
Bro, it definitely would, but that's what I'm saying. My wife has told me that she will have a stash.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that I have trust issues with her.
She has
No,
told
she
you.
has been transparent.
Yeah,
That's what
she
we're
has-
But
saying.
that's the thing. I never know when she has money or when she doesn't.
But she's
But
been
she has
transparent.
told you.
Would you see?
Bro,
I'm a
yes.
stasher.
I get that, but that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Kuti,
But if you don't know that your partner's a stasher,
Yeah.
then that's where the trust issue is.
even if I didn't know, bro, because the first time she said, "I've got money, I've been stashing it," that's the first time that I knew about it. She had stashed it, so that could have been the trust issue.
No, but the question is, the fact that she told you means she didn't stash it to hide it from you. You get it?
I get it. I mean, I get
The issue is
entire thing.
hiding it.
Yes, but that's why I'm saying that. I feel like we could decide that it's a trust issue so that we move on. But the truth is, people's methods in how they do what they do is always going to be up to them. When someone decides that my money culture is going to be, I'm going to always be upfront with everything, but I'm also always going to have a stash and I'm going to leave a will. If ever anything happens to me, then this money goes to my family and whatever. If someone decides that that's their method and their intent is good, I don't see that being an issue with, I don't see it as a trust issue at all. I'm saying that's my perspective.
But-
It doesn't have to be yours.
how does
We
it-
don't have to
yeah.
agree on it.
No, but I'm just saying, like, how will it look when they just come across it or discover it?
It doesn't
You know,
have.
they
Do
just
you know what?
yeah,
As an individual,
yeah.
how things look doesn't really matter to me. If the intention is good and you trust me as an individual, like if I don't feel like my wife would be mad if she then discovered that I've been stashing all these years and then I've got some cash and then she just finds it.
It also becomes a matter of your wife actually saying, I trust the fact that if I'm to discover a stash that you've put somewhere else,
that it's
because
for
I
good
trust you,
intentions.
I trust you did it for the betterment of our family.
That's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't have to be
You know what
one
I
way or
mean?
the other. It could be a different way of managing money, but it doesn't mean that.
No,
it's bad.
that's not a bad way of. We're not casting, an ethical position on the stash itself.
I get
We
it.
are saying, what is the role? What is the purpose of the non-disclosure?
And I get that. And I'm saying it might not then make sense to you because you want justification for the non-disclosure of the stash. But if that's my method, then that's my method.
Yeah. So I'm saying, if it's your method, what is the reason for the non-disclosure?
For whatever reason it is, I don't want.
I'm not saying
I
it
don't
won't
want us
work
to-
or whatever.
I'm saying
It might work very well.
And it might be I don't want to actually touch this money until it's like 5 years from now, and I don't want anybody else to ever know about it. I want to learn discipline for whatever reason I'm doing the stash or whatever it is. I just don't want to tell anyone about the stash, even my wife. Like I feel like,
I mean, I think atongi michato yevanhu, but
mune muchida kutongere michato
but kune
because it's like
but-
saying there's a way that money should be handled. Yes,
Yeah,
there is. But what if I have
guess,
a different way?
I
and
guess
it
that's
still
what I
works?
wanted to say. Like to close this off is to say that there's no one right way of managing financials within a household, but the most important thing is to be as transparent as you can be. Is to have these conversations before you actually get into the marriage institute about how you're going to manage your financials.
Yeah, you do. Because I mean, imagine.
what does transparency mean, though, guys?
Which is why I said you can be as transparent as you can be.
Exactly.
So not to say there's a cap,
If
not to
you
say-
hide 10% and you
fully
reveal 90%,
transparent
you have
or-
not been transparent.
But here's the thing: if your
That's
household,
Because sometimes
if
you
your
don't-
household,
sometimes
yes,
you
if
might
your
not need to
household
be
can
100%
function,
That's why I was
on
saying,
10%
don't call it
of
transparency if there's hiding
your
involved.
income, and your wife is happy with the 10%, then there might not actually be a reason for you to disclose the other 90%.
An
Do you get where I'm coming from?
An example on my side, when we're doing the budget, we do it on my core salary, right? My day-to-day salary. My side hustles.
Those are that's like your.
what I do with my side hustles.
is
Like,
up to you.
for every gig I get, I give my wife a percentage of that. Say, you know what, I'm going away, I've got a gig. I give her something to use for whatever she wants to do. The rest,
That's up to you.
it's up to me.
Do you
I
see
don't
where the
want to put back-
disclosure and the
Yes.
transparency
So you see, that's
factor
why I'm
comes
just
in?
telling you that, man, it makes things so much easier.
But that's what I'm saying, like it's really about picking a method that works for you.
Yeah.
Because for some people, they might be in exactly the same situation and just do things slightly different.
slightly different.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be one way or the other.
Yeah.
It could
Yeah.
just be whatever we've decided
Yeah.
to be. Is
But
what
would
it
you
should be.
agree?
Maybe
that-
your wife says, "Look, I just need us. I just."
At least
to find
10,000.
At least this much at the end of
Minimum.
every month. Anything else?
Minimum.
Whatever
that's
else
a-
is, I don't
And
care.
that's-
You where I'm coming
that's
from.
you've
And that's a
talked about.
conversation that
You've
you would
already
have
Yeah,
talked about.
exactly.
She's
That's
telling you-
transparency.
That's transparency.
Yes,
Because
which
she's
is why
told
I
you,
said
this is what we need for
Yes.
the house, or this is what we want.
Which is why I said for,
The rest,
for it
yes,
to work,
whatever
yes,
you can do
have
with
those
it.
financial conversations
100%.
before going.
As long
into
as
the-
you just
into the
agree on
marriage
the money
institution.
culture,
Yeah.
as the two of you, that's what's important.
But if you don't know, if you do not disclose, there's no agreement.
If you
You've taken
agree,
away
you
the-
agree.
you've
if
taken
you-
away
no,
power
if
from
wa-
your
if
from your
wife says-
partner.
If your wife says, "I just want a minimum of 10,000," and then you give her a minimum of 10,000, and she actually never complains about that, then that's it.
Happy days.
Yeah, it's
But-
not fully
but-
transparent,
but-
but it's an agreement.
No, it is. It is fully transparent.
No, if she says
Yeah,
she wants
that's-
10 grand and she doesn't care about what you do with the rest, then you're not being transparent about what you're doing with the rest. You're just giving her the 10 grand.
Yeah,
and she said
but
she
what
wanted it.
you see, she's co-signed.
Yeah.
That's
She,
the agreement, Skip. That's exactly
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
you
if
and I.
you are in
So I'm not
agreement.
arguing with you on that.
Yes.
I am saying to you,
There has to
whatever
be
it is you
transparency.
agree as a couple,
Yes.
you should agree as a couple.
That's exactly
But your
what I'm
wife
saying.
has not agreed to your secret stash if she doesn't know about it.
That's fine.
So it's not an agreement. It's not a team thing.
Bro,
It's an
okay.
individual thing, and it takes away power from your partner.
It's okay. I mean, I feel like if I deem it necessary to take away that power that she might still not know about, and I feel like we can still go ahead and still agree on the other things, and it's still fine, and there are no problems, then there are no problems. I'm not stuck on methods. I am very flexible, and that's why I'm always going to be the advocate for. If you find a way that works, and it's not necessarily my way, but it works for you, it works for you.
No. We're talking about couples here.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, bro.
So if
a
you
couple
are
agrees on their
imposing
money-
a thing,
If a couple agrees
on
on,
your
their money
partner.
culture, no. If a couple agrees on how they are doing their money culture thing,
These are friends, bro. They can have this debate
course.
for the whole day.
Yes,
but
we
these-
can.
You know, these are healthy conversations.
we can.
So yeah, apparently I'm the guy who makes sure the show goes
Goes on. Yes.
But you know, yeah, that's a deep one. It actually needs a episode
Yes.
on its own,
You get a financial
man.
analyst.
Would you want
Yeah.
your partner to disclose before you're married to disclose the family health history and mental health history? So that's something that could be hereditary. Would you want to know if your children might
Oh,
inherit?
bro, that's like kind of obvious.
Yeah.
I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, because
It's
if
an
you are,
important
if it's
conversation.
hereditary that
Yeah, I mean
you're
that you have
diabetic, then you
diabetes.
need to just also know.
Yeah.
So you
Have
can
you
be there
guys
for your partner.
disclosed it?
Hey,
Have you had those conversations with your
to
partner?
be honest, that one no.
Nah. Yeah, that's what I thought.
not part of our
Have
culture.
you had that conversation with your
Yes.
partner? You have.
I have. I mean,
Before?
it wasn't a. Before we get married, let's talk about this. It
Yeah.
was just a. In our family, we actually have this. Do you have something like that? Similar in your family?
It wasn't going to be a
Yeah.
deal breaker per se.
No. I mean, we've had the conversation, but it wasn't like a premarital conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me give you an example.
Yeah.
She said, "We need to go and do a full a blood panel, test for everything, everything, like through and through, right? And that's a non-negotiable. And it was such a serious thing for her, and I didn't understand it. I felt it was like overkill. You know, I was
I
like,
mean, to be honest with you,
I was
to
just
me it
like-
sounds like overkill.
I was just like, yo, bro.
But I get it.
Maybe due to something that
But you see, yeah,
Yeah, in her.
that's
probably
part of the
part of what she
conversation.
experienced. Yeah.
She must then get with a guy who understands it, or or believes the same, or at least has the stomach for it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Yeah, you can.
I actually don't want to know about me.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to
No,
know.
I mean, was it
Yeah.
just medicals? Like, what kind of test was she testing for?
No,
Because I mean, if it's just medicals, like general medicals, I think it's not
Not
it
general.
doesn't
Those
sound- Yeah,
intensive.
it doesn't sound-
blood panel, like STIs, health, blood sugar,
Hearts.
what, like
Liver,
Like,
kidney,
the
literally
entire
everything.
thing.
You?
Yeah,
I mean, if it's like the STIs and whatever, it's
Yeah,
understandable.
it's
Yeah.
understandable.
But if it's now like I want to check if your kidneys really work, because
Yeah,
if they
yeah,
don't,
you
it
know.
might be an issue. Yee, bro.
it's a thing.
Yeah.
No,
Is she married now?
She is.
Jeez.
We break that.
She is. No, but she was extra like that.
But it happens.
I once
I mean-
said to
Yeah,
her,
yeah,
you spoke, you treat me with disdain. That's what I said. And the conversation continued, and then the next day she drove to my house with a dictionary.
And she said,
And
this is what
I
This
remember
is
this
what
story,
disdain
bro.
means.
Oh wow.
I remember this story,
So
bro.
you're saying I treated you
this way.
with a deep-seated sense of hatred.
Oh.
I was like, I was not reading a dictionary. when I said it.
And I was saying it within the context
I
of
meant
what
we
was
do
happening.
Nega show.
Yeah, it wasn't that deep.
It's not what I really meant.
Wow. Wow.
No, but that's understandable.
Oh,
I mean, yeah. Ish. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that was mostly on the list. The
Ish,
last
bro,
one,
I think we can round it
The
off.
last one was
I
a
think we can
dream
round it
home. Would you ever think that's Dream
I've
home,
had
like where-
conversations about dream homes
Yeah.
and cars
Yeah.
with my partner.
it can actually become an issue? Like
Then I'm like,
Bro,
hey, that's your
do you know what? I actually didn't know that it was gonna be an issue.
yeah.
Because in my head, I was like, when I make enough money, I would love to build a house the way I want the house to be. Like, I don't see how I'll just find a house that
And
fits,
buy it, yeah.
you know, what I want. Like, so I'd love to build a house. And it was just a random thought that I had by myself a long
Makes
time ago,
sense.
right?
Yeah.
And then my wife says, I
could never.
I will never.
Yeah.
Bro, she was almost angry. And I'm like, why? She's like, no, I just had a bad experience. Like when my dad was trying to build a house and then, you know,
Never
things
got
weren't-
finished.
Yeah,
Yeah,
things weren't going
yeah,
so well and whatever. Like
yeah.
it's really just made me feel some
Yeah.
type of way. So I feel like I even have like trauma when it comes to that. Like every time I've experienced someone build a house, it's like things just go wrong.
Wow.
You know, like it's, for me, it's just,
South.
and the way she explained it, bro, it's like,
Afterwards,
I just
you were
said,
like,
I was just like,
oh.
we're buying a house.
You're like, I don't think I'm ever
I was
getting
just like,
again.
okay, let me just look for houses and see, you know, what we can do. Like, are you okay with renovations? She was like, yeah, I can do renovations. I was like, great, we can meet there.
Or your dream is to get onto a farm somewhere and live in the countryside with fresh air and animals.
Exactly. And she's
And
a
your
city
wife
girl.
just hears bugs.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
And
Kid, I have
Yeah.
to tell you, my parents are in that situation. So every time I'm hanging out with my dad, every time he sees like a beautiful lot of land, he's like, oh,
Yeah.
you can put your cows here.
Yeah.
You can put your cows here. Like every time he's always like, you can put your cows here. And I'm like, you always say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your retirement plan? Like, what do you want to do? Like, in
You see it for yourself,
Your
yeah.
last golden years.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, I'd love to live on my own farm, you know, and have a farm manager, and then just go and check on things, and just have, you know, crops and whatever. And then that whole Samanyika thing
Yes.
hit me.
Yes.
Because
Oh,
It's
that's
our
where it's coming
ancestors.
from.
It's in the blood,
that's
yeah,
where it's
like
coming
that's
from.
what, and he doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
I had to tell my dad about that
Yeah.
story.
Wow.
Because he didn't know it. He was just like, really? He was then like, maybe that's why I've got a green hand, because every time he does plants or flowers or
Does
whatever,
well.
Flourish.
it always
It's
flourishes.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm thinking to myself, maybe my dad's been chasing the wrong trains that
All his life.
all
His
these
life.
years.
Yeah.
But anyway, to get to this point, I asked my dad, and he's like, yeah, you know, I want to have a farm, and I want to, and then it's just quiet, and I just want to hear the birds. Like, he described countryside, bro, and I was just like, yo, that sounds so
And you married a
good. I'm a
city
city,
girl.
I was like, I'm a city boy, but that sounds so good.
Yeah.
And then I speak to my mom and was like, Mommy, I want to ask you something. How do you want to retire? Like, where do you want to live when you retire?
Yeah.
And she was like, It just needs to be somewhere where I can get really nice food and go for shopping. And she just explained like city life, and then the one time we're in the car together, I'm like, guys, I think we need to talk about your retirement.
You're a trouble starter.
Then I told my mom, I was like, your husband actually wants to live in a farm, and you want to live in the city. You guys need to have that conversation like ASAP. Like you should have had that conversation a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then my mom's like, you want to live on a farm?
40 years later.
My parents have been married for over 40 years.
Yeah.
And I just found that to be absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
So it's definitely something you need to talk about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We need to talk about how you said mommy. You call your mom mommy?
Yeah.
I actually heard a podcast yesterday of girls in their early 20s. One of their it was the game was called He's a 10 but. Right?
He's a 10, but he
yeah.
calls his mother mommy.
Oh, that's a red flag.
Bro.
Well, luckily for you, like
It doesn't matter.
Yo, you can think what you
Whatever,
want to
man.
think,
Yeah.
or like, but my mom is my mom. Like, like when I was growing up, I called her mommy, so I didn't see how I should just change,
Yeah.
just to prove some level of masculinity.
yeah, now I know no more mommy, bro.
Hey,
Wow.
guys, we had a marathon of.
Oh wow!
Whoa,
goodness.
it's 4 o'clock.
Thank
Yes.
you so
Yeah.
much to
Crazy.
Oscar, man.
Thank
No,
you.
definitely,
How
Oscar,
many hours
bro.
was that,
Oscar,
bro?
thank you for the all
Like
that shit, bro.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
But let's close it out nicely, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, for joining in. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. And we'd like to be having more guests like Oscar. And Oscar, I think this warrants a second or third.
Definitely,
is it-
we
I'd
really
love-
need
I'd love
to.
Because
Yeah.
I'm sure we would want to hear a lot more about his entrepreneurial journey.
Exactly. There's a lot to share, a lot to share.
Yes.
Some gems.
Yes, bro, we need to get into that one.
My God.
100%. But yeah,
No,
man.
thank you for having me,
And
guys.
also that chat about Christianity, actually not Christianity,
The
but
ancestors.
religion and
Yes,
spirituality.
Yeah.
That's a good
Nah,
one.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Just give us your feedback and let us know what you think of the episodes and how we are doing so far. We'd love to hear from you guys, and I'm not sure if there are any parting words from you guys.
No, I mean, I'd like to thank Oscar again for coming through to the show. I mean, I think we really went through like a lot of stuff, bro. Like, there's
Yeah.
so much. Like, I don't know how we're gonna do the shorts, man. I'm gonna have so much fun doing the shorts. But yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think, because I think we've gone through like a lot of stuff. So please share with us, send us voice notes, and Slim said even videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a funny story to share though. So you remember that one last episode where you had my cap on,
Yeah.
and then you're like, Slim will not join us on the show. And then I came
Oh, what else
through
did-
and then I said psych.
Yeah.
So I've got a nephew who watched that podcast, and he sends me a message and he's like, well, uncle, who the hell still says psych?
Yeah,
And I was like, no, look, man. First of all, I'm
Yeah,
old.
like, from
That's one thing
Like,
you
I'm
got
not
to
as young as I
understand.
look.
Yeah, I'm old, man. And each generation has its own
From those
way of doing
VHS
things,
days,
you
bro.
know.
Yeah.
Which is why I can't even stomach the music that you listen to, right? I'm like,
Exactly.
what are they even saying? I don't understand. Like the
Yeah.
whole mumble rap thing
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
So-
I
so
don't
now
I remember an older
don't-
guy.
yeah, I don't even take functions for. I think from 23, 22 going down.
Doing
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Birthday party, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't take it.
Because you don't
I
You only
don't
can't relate. You don't
Yeah,
you're
man.
not from that
Yeah.
era.
I remember
Yeah.
I remember one of my mentors actually saying, these words mean something different to my generation than to yours.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said application. And I
Wow.
thought of an app.
Yeah.
And he said, but he said you think of an
Applying
app,
for
but
a job.
I think of applying for a
Applying
job. So I think
for-
of a CV.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
And then he said, what was the other word? He
Wow.
said trend. And he said a trend would be something that we say like when it comes to
A pattern.
a pattern.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a trend. Almost like a trend in construction, or a trend in the home
Yeah.
industry, or a trend in business, or
Yeah.
whatever, or fashion.
But we think a trend is who's trending
Yeah.
in the world.
What's in? Yeah.
You know, like, and viral. He said viral sounds like something about disease.
Yeah.
But you think it's about hype.
Yeah.
And that's how the world changes and language changes. I
Yeah.
found that so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really is.
Very interesting. I don't know. Any parting words from yourself, man?
First of all, thank you guys for having me. I love conversation, and particularly conversation with men. I feel like this we're not doing enough of, across the board. And like I said, vulnerability is the missing thing. The conversations are starting to happen, but we need to challenge ourselves at every turn to say, how vulnerable are we being? How open are we being? Because if I'm able to open myself up, I give other people permission to do the same.
100%.
And that's the thing that's been missing all along in our conversations as Africans. And we should just be willing to be the ones that take the lead. You're going to get into a lot of trouble being vulnerable and open, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
We're the war vets, we're the freedom fighters.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I get into a lot of trouble when I go home because I have older siblings, male to be specific. The first thing that he says is, I'm going to watch your thing there, but I know throughout all of it, I'm going to be just saying simp. No. And I'm like, no, dude, you know what? Yeah. If you actually pay attention to some of these topics that we touch on, you realize that there are certain things that we talk about that if you were to, just take up and use them in your daily lives, you realize that there are a lot of problems that they will solve. I won't dive deep into what it is that it will solve, but I feel like every time that we have a conversation here, I always relate to things that are happening in my life, in my relationships, in the people that are close to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but if they approached this problem in that manner, it would actually work out much better than what it is right now. So these conversations are that important to us, to our audience, and to the generation that's coming after us. I hope they actually get the opportunity to watch all the episodes that we're pushing out.
100%. That's the aim. That's the goal. But from the African male Iris, we're signing out, right?
Peace out.
Thank you so much.
Here's the main event. I work hard, I'm blessed, let me vent. Greatness in my hands, got it by the neck. The motherland, the African man. Long as I'm alive, I'ma make a plan. The motherland, the African man. Long as I'm alive, I'ma make a plan. Strongholds to break, got long walks to take. Got no votes to make, we don't bet, we pray. Hey, African man.